Now let's say you want to save all of these layer effects out as a layer style that you can then turn around and apply to a different layer inside of this composition or to a completely different composition if you like. You can even transfer styles to other machines, so you can share them with your pals if you want to. And I'll show you how that works. Let's go ahead and bring up the Styles palette, which you can get to, obviously, by choosing the Styles command here inside of the window menu. And it contains a series of tiny little thumbnails here, tiny little buttons that indicate a bunch of predefined styles that ship along with Photoshop. And you can try them out just by clicking on them if you want to. If you do, you will apply that style to the circle and you'll override the existing styles here. But notice if I hover my cursor over an empty portion of the Styles palette, I get a little bucket icon. And if I click with it, I'll create a new style. I could also click on this little new icon down there, the little page icon at the bottom of the Styles palette. Let's go ahead and name the style Yellow Trans like this. And I definitely want to include the layer effects, which are, of course, drop shadow, inner shadow, bevel, and emboss, all those guys. And I want to include the layer blending options, which include the 70% opacity setting, the 35% fill opacity setting, and the fact that Photoshop is not calculating the clipped layers as a group. So that setting is in there as well. Go ahead and click OK in order to accept that new style. And it appears inside the Styles palette. Now, this style is not saved with the document, mind you. The effects are saved with the document, but the style here inside the Styles palette is not saved with the document. It instead is saved with Photoshop's preference settings when you quit the application. Now, let's say what you really want to do is you want to be able to save that style out and then give it to somebody else or transfer it to a different machine, use it elsewhere. How would you accomplish that? Well, you might think that you'd go up to the Styles palette menu right here and you would choose Save Styles. But if you do that, you will save all styles that are available inside the Styles palette. You can't just save a single style from here. Instead, if you just want to save a single style or you want to be able to control exactly which styles you save and which you don't, you need to go to the Preset Manager. So choose the Preset Manager command. Then click on a style that you want to save, and you can control-click to select non-adjacent styles. You can shift-click in order to select a range of styles, all that jazz. But in our case, we just want to save one style, right? Then you would go ahead and click on the Save Set button and save that style to disk. Now, if you put it in the default location, it will be available to you from the palette menu in the future when you relaunch Photoshop. But you can also save it to a totally different location and then load it later. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and cancel out of here by clicking that close box or clicking the done button. And later, you could then load that style by choosing the Load Styles command. So it's that simple. That's how it works. I'm not sure that's simple. It's a little twisted that you have to go to the Preset Manager, but that is how it works. And a Preset Manager is where you can manage all kinds of things like brushes, and you can manage patterns and all different varieties of things that you can save out on a global basis here inside Photoshop. One last thing I'll tell you, just in case you're wondering. One, if you want to clean up your styles and get rid of some of them, well, check this out. If you press and hold the Alt key or the Option key on a Mac and hover over a style, then you'll have a little pair of scissors icon. Click with those scissors and the style goes away. So that's a function of pressing the Alt or Option key. In the next exercise, we're going to take this new style that we just created and we're going to apply it to a layer inside of a totally different composition.